Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. So as you can see, I'm back in my main setup in Australia, which means you can expect a lot more PC content from me during the year. But as of right now, I want to start off with a more simple budget build. This is a $200 gaming PC that I built for the sole purpose of playing Overwatch 2, but you'll be surprised at how capable it is in other more intensive titles. So without further ado, let's go over the parts, the price I paid for them, and see how it performs, shall we? So starting off, we have our motherboard, CPU, and RAM combo, which I paid 86 Aussie dollars for, featuring an i5 3470, 16 gigs of RAM, and an Intel H61 motherboard. This is not the best deal by any means, but it fits within the budget and should play games just fine. Moving on to the graphics card, I have chosen the RX 470 4GB. I paid $110 for this at CEX, which is way too much in my opinion, but it has 2 years warranty, so it evens out, I guess. But yeah, this is still an amazing gaming card and should run all the games we wanted to play today. Moving on to our storage, I went with a simple solid state drive and hard drive combo. Now this is a Patriot Burst 120GB SATA SSD. It's nothing special, but at $17 it should prove a much faster experience than any hard drive. For the hard drive, I went with this very basic Seagate Barracuda 500GB drive. It's your typical run-up-the-mill spinning drive that I got for 2 Aussie dollars in a bulk lot, and it should store enough games for the entry-level gamer. Powering this whole system is the Antec Neo HE550. It's a 550 watt 80 plus power supply that I massively overpaid for. This thing should not cost 60 Aussie dollars, with its ketchup and mustard cables and another hidden problem that will pop his head out in the build process. But anywho, it's still a pretty decent unit and should power everything we've chosen just fine. So housing all the parts we've chosen is the CM Storm Enforcer case. This is a very old case from 2011, and the only reason I chose it is because it's $20 Australian, so yeah. It's nothing special, but like it has cool features such as this hidden DVD drive, which I'm not gonna use because the graphics card kind of covers all the SATA ports, but it's still a cool thing to have, I'd say. And all those parts tally up to around 295 Australian dollars or 200 US dollars. This is amazing value for an entry-level gaming PC, and without further ado, let's get to the build montage. Just a quick note, the Antec power supply only has one SATA power cable, so I have to order an adapter for both of my drives to work, which means you'll see another power supply I used in the build montage. Thank you for understanding. Alright, so this is the first boot, and I'll just say this straight. The system does not boot with the RX 470. The main reason is that this motherboard has a pretty old BIOS, which means we have to use a different graphics card to update the BIOS to the latest one. And yeah, I'll be using this GT720. It's like a legacy card, so it should work with this motherboard, and I'll try my best to get the system up and running with the RX 470. So I had to do the BIOS updating off screen because it's a really long and tedious process, and I honestly couldn't get it all on video. But if you guys want to update your own H61 Intel motherboards, I'll leave a link down below to the video I used. Yeah, these old motherboards are really finicky when it comes to the BIOSes, but as you can see, we got our motherboard working with the latest BIOS. i5-3470, 16 gigs of RAM, everything is showing up alright. Before we put the RX 470 back in the PC, I just want to show you guys how to change the thermal paste on a blower card like this, because these usually involve a lot, and I mean a lot of screws. So as you can see, I'm removing the 4 main screws that's holding the heatsink and the GPU die together. Once we're done with the 4 main screws, we'll be moving on to the 6 tiny screws on the side of the blower card, which houses all the cooling mechanism. Once all the screws are out, you can just grab the block and plop it out like so. As you can see, you can remove that heatsink that you've already unscrewed, and would you just look at this dried up thermal paste. That's the main problem with these Polaris cards, is that the thermal paste gets dried up really quickly. Like, there's just nothing left on this die. Anywho, I'll be giving it a clean with this tissue and give it a new coat of paste. I know I should have done a top-down view of this, but just know that you need to cover the whole die with thermal paste, but just a thin layer. You don't need too much. Now all you need to do is some reverse engineering to make sure everything goes back in its right place and you get a functional GPU. Alright, now let's let past me finish assembling the GPU and let us get back to the build montage.
I'm throwing rocks to your window, but it seems like you won't come out. You don't care if you let me down. And I try to get over, but it's hard when you're sober. Time goes by, I get older, and I feel like it's over. And I feel like it's over. I feel like it's over. Is your heart afraid to let go after everything that he has done? Is the first one the only one? And I try to get over it, but it's hard when you're sober. Time goes by, I get older and feel like it's over.
So, first boot. Technically not first boot, but hey. So I preloaded the SSD with Windows when I was using the 720 because I didn't want the hassle of installing the OS afterwards. So yeah, we have our trusty old friend Windows 10 here loading in with no problems. Bada bing, bada boom. Yep. Now let's go test some games, shall we? And so, with those benchmarks, I think it's safe to say that this system still has a lot to give in 2023, and for the price we paid, although not the best price to performance wise, it's still very capable as a gaming PC and should prove to be a very cheap gateway for anyone who's looking into PC gaming but doesn't want to spend too much money. I want to address the performance of Fortnite and Valorant, seeing that they both have low 0.1% lows. For Fortnite, it's simply a matter of different biomes on the map causing frame drops. It doesn't affect the gameplay experience at all, and the game remains pretty smooth. As for Valorant, the 4 FPS 0.1% low metric is because there's usually a lot of freezing occurring during round switches, so it occurs in between rounds. But overall the gameplay experience remains pretty buttery smooth, and I played multiple matches without problems. With the performance issues addressed, we've reached the end of the video, so I just want to say thank you to everyone who tuned into the video. $200 is not a budget I really touch anymore because honestly prices are awful these days, but it's always fun because it's also the first sort of budget range I allowed for myself for my first PC. So yeah, it's always fun to me to stretch the dollar rather than build like the top of the line stuff. So I had a lot of fun doing this, even though it's a really simple build and a simple video to make. So hope you'll have a nice day or night wherever you are, and thanks once again for watching my videos, and I hope to see you all around for whatever I come up with next in the future.